edition of Beyond the Cab podcast, where heavy machinery meets real stories. I'm your host, Josh Williams, along with my co-host, Sean Eviden. How you doing, Sean?
Good. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Here with another good one. We got Mike Motak, 9-year member, graduated apprentice, job steward, and a good old pipeline hand. Not to mention one of the best haircuts we got in the local.
Thanks for coming in, Mike.
How you doing, Mike?
Doing well.
Good to have you, brother.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, all right. So, what's going on? How's things?
Everything's pretty good.
Yeah.
Been living the layoff life for a month.
Yeah, you laid off right now?
Catching up on all my equipment.
Nice. What's the layoff like? Like you get collecting unemployment and sub pay?
Yeah, unemployment and sub pay, and
What's
still,
that total up to now?
after taxes, it's still like $1,000.
$1,000 a week to ride snowmobiles and hang out?
Yeah, fix mopeds and fix motorcycles.
Fix
All
mopeds.
right. You ready to get back to work though? We're pretty busy.
I'm about ready.
All right. Snow's still on the ground, but we'll get you going pretty soon.
Yeah,
Right
yeah.
on.
When the trails close.
Okay, perfect. All right. The trail's closed. We're calling Mike to go work. All right, so let's get right into it. So where did the whole thing for you begin as far as the wanting to get into run heavy equipment for a living?
So for me, my grandpa on my mom's side was a farmer, and me and my brother got old enough to help pretty much when he was shutting everything down. And he still had, 8 Ford 3000s and a handful of John Deere 2020s and a bulldozer sitting around that didn't run, but we got to mess around on the tractors, and we ripped out some grape fields for him and helped them basically close the doors up, but that was enough.
So you had a farm with 2 different color tractors on it.
Yeah, whatever.
That's odd.
Whatever ran.
Never ran, huh? All right. Most of your farms are one or the other, but okay. So you had
What,
Fords and John Deeres.
what kind of farm?
So grapes, strawberries, beans, all vegetables and fruits, and he said they were farming like 2,000 acres when they were at their biggest, and they used to road their equipment all the way down to Jamestown. They
Wow.
didn't have any trucks to haul anything around. They drive it
That's a hike.
from North Collins.
They picked everything themselves. There was no U-pick or.
There was some U-pick, but most of it, it's all delicate stuff, tomatoes,
Yep.
and had to be, all of it was handwork mostly, other than the grape picker.
Yep.
How old you talking were you then?
Like probably 12, 13, 14.
All right.
So I had that on my mom's side, and then on my dad's side, his father and all his brothers were union Boilermakers. And so I got to kind of see, I wanted to run heavy equipment. I didn't know anything about this union. I just knew that the union was a good thing because it afforded us good health care, and we were never hungry, and we got to do most everything we wanted to do and go on vacation and everything like that. And that's not how my mom grew up, really.
Yeah. Did he tell some stories about jobs, like being a Boilermaker, working on some bigger plants or something like that?
Yeah, they did a bunch of big work when all the coal plants were running around here, and they traveled a lot during my childhood because they had to.
Yeah. Was that Bethlehem Steel? Did he get to work there at all?
No, he was working in Dunkirk, and
Okay.
I don't remember all the names, but right now we got a job going up at Lake Mariner, and they built that power plant.
Somerset.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big power plant for a long time. Coal burning.
Yep.
Big tall stack. Oh, that's cool. So Boilermakers. So there are your grandfather, obviously, and your dad are both retired now?
Yeah. My grandfather passed away. My father retired 5 years ago
Okay.
at 55.
Gotcha. 50.
Oh.
Okay. 55, so he did it young.
Yeah.
Good for him. Good for him. All right. So you've been in 9 years. So you were actually a member when your father was still working as a Boilermaker.
Yeah. I could have worked on it. His last job was the Maid of the Mist.
I was going to say, you guys didn't get crossover at all?
No, I probably could have. I don't.
Yeah.
They needed a Class A driver, and I don't think I had my A at the time.
Okay.
So, John Serio and Mammoser got to work with.
Oh,
him on that
right.
job.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep. So him and my brother, bunch of other guys, Josh Sisty, welded them boats together. The new aluminum boats, which was new for them too.
Is your brother a Boilermaker too?
Yeah, my brother's a Boilermaker.
Great. Wow, you got a whole union family.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all right. All right. So, did you end up getting the job, like working heavy equipment construction, then after the farm type stuff, or?
So after helping on my grandfather's farm, I worked on a bunch of dairy farms up in Langford where I grew up. And then when I graduated high school in 2011, I went to college to Alfred State for surveying.
Hey, let's back up 1 second. So you grew up in Langford, right? Did you drive a tractor to high school?
I went to tractor day. I had to borrow one.
You had to borrow. You did do it though. You drove a tractor.
We only had a 3-cylinder Yanmar. You don't show up to tractor day
No.
in a Yanmar.
What'd you borrow to run the tractor day?
An old Massey 33.
33.
Narrow front end.
All right. Diesel?
Nope, gas.
Yes, one.
Old, like 50s.
Old. Oh, okay, right on. All right, cool.
You don't show up with the 3-cylinder Yanmar.
No, you take a good tractor. All right, that's great. I think tractor day is cool. I wish I would have got to do that, but they didn't have that at my high school. We rode snowmobiles to school, but
Yeah, they told us we weren't allowed to too. We showed up and we got kicked out.
oh, really?
Yeah, shame.
Yeah, shame.
Shucks. Go back home.
Gotta go home. All right. So where'd you end up then working
So
after that?
before college,
Yeah, or what? Yeah, just you talk about your job and like actually doing construction, or what? Well, you could talk about college. What'd you do in college? Why'd you go to college?
I went to college for survey. I didn't know what I wanted to do. My parents were telling me, "Oh, you got to go to college." I wanted to be a Boilermaker like my dad, and the work wasn't there. And he's like, "Oh, I'll let you know when the time's right." And that never came. So I went to college for surveying. I don't really know why, just because. And then second year of that, first class was law, and there was like 50-something pages they assigned us to read, and and then I had calculus right after that, and I was like, yeah, I don't think this is for me either.
This
so
ain't working out too good.
So I went, and that was my first day. The first 3 hours, I switched my major to construction management because they were the same curriculum the first year.
Okay.
This was the second year I switched to construction management, and I don't know. That got me exposed to a little bit. I got my certification to be able to test concrete and rebar and stuff like that. So I went and got a job with SJB, and testing concrete's pretty boring if you've ever seen them do it.
Oh yeah, the cylinders, they got to pour it in there and break them and do all that stuff.
You get to watch everybody else work pretty much.
Did you ever get to do the soil testing with the Troxler thing or whatever they call it?
No, I didn't get into that. I tested concrete for about, I don't know, 4 months, and then I switched to drilling. And
what did that pay, like testing concrete? Was it decent or was it nothing?
it was like $14 an hour or something,
Whoa.
maybe.
All right.
Which I guess was was more than I was making before that. But
Yeah. Well, so what year is this then? Do you remember?
this is like 2012, 2013.
Okay, testing concrete. All right.
And then I went to work on drill rigs for soil borings, and the guy in the office tried to talk me out of that. He's like, nobody goes from testing to drilling. They go the other way. That's hard work. I was like, well, that's more.
It's gonna be more fun though to drive that 4-wheel buggy through the swamps
yeah.
and woods and
Right.
Yeah, you
Then,
go
drill
here,
holes.
take these plastic cylinders and go fill them with concrete all day.
Yeah, but
no thanks.
moving the big augers around and stuff by hand isn't that fun. But
Yeah,
it
but
was,
it's more man work, right?
yeah, and I got to go out of town a little bit with them. We went into Pennsylvania and stuff like
So you
that.
guys
So
were
I got-
doing soil samples like when you see, like for example, for a wind farmer up there drilling where the foundation's going to go to get the soil samples so they can bid.
Yeah, before the construction happens, they go and test the dirt and get the compressive strengths out of it. And
How
they
deep
just-
do you drill?
It depends what they want. Sometimes they want core samples, so you got to go all the way to bedrock, and then they want 10 foot of bedrock or however far you can get into it.
Okay.
So then you core that. You can spend a day or two on a hole, and then if you get the augers stuck or the rods stuck in the augers,
Yeah.
you're either torching them off or you're there for another day trying to get them out.
Did you ever hit water, gas, or oil or anything fun like that?
We hit the rainbow route once up at.
What's a rainbow route? Oh, the rainbow route, the 300 pair rainbow route.
Yeah. We didn't even have to make a phone call. They just showed up to start fixing it, and they weren't really happy with us.
Oh,
We were in.
That's a good one. Never heard it referred to that.
yeah, I
as the
like that
route.
rainbow route.
Yeah.
Was
You know it when you see it start coming out of the ground.
Was there a flag marking where it was supposed to be?
Yeah, underneath like 4 foot of snow.
Oh, just drill here.
Yeah, I remember. Our boss showed up beginning of the week, and he's showing us you can drill all these roads and these roads. He goes, don't do this road until the snow is gone because it's flagged, and there's a fiber optic line here that feeds the weather comm to the airport, and we can't hit it. So 3 days later, we're going down that road, and I said, I don't think we're supposed to drill on this road. And the guy I was working with assured me that he said we could do it. So we weren't even in 5 foot, and it starts coming out of the ground and looks at me. It's like, what's that? I'm like, that's fiber optic.
That's
He's
the
like,
fiber optic.
No, it's not.
We weren't
And he
supposed
goes,
to
well,
drill.
he goes, what do we do? And I'm like, well, you better call Mark and And before we even called Verizon or anything, they showed up.
They knew right away.
Oh
this
yeah,
thing
they
was not working.
Yeah, there was a snowstorm coming. It knocked the airport out. So they had like no weather.
That's awesome.
That is a good one. That's a good one. What do we do now? We just head to our trucks and
Yeah.
go home.
This
We're
is in
done.
2012 or 13.
Yeah.
Bill actually had a campaign with them that he lost by a vote or two. I think it was probably around 2015 or 2016. We almost organized SGB.
Yeah, they talked about it when I was there because I think I think somebody else tried to organize them before. And
Oh, really?
yeah, the guy that owned it said, "If you guys go union, I'll shut the doors."
Bill had. I remember him. He was so excited. He was going to go in there, and he had all the support, and everything was great and going great. And it came to go to vote for the recognition, and went down.
Yeah,
Something happened.
a lot of the drillers wanted to be union, but
Yeah.
for the rest of the company, I don't know that they would even fit underneath what we do.
I don't know. Either way, they would have been in better shape
Anybody
with their
can fit
benefits.
underneath what we do. It's just about how you word it.
There you go. That's right.
But yeah, that was.
All right. So you're drilling there, and what? Did you just get sick of drilling, or how'd you end up? Where'd you go from there?
Oh, actually, I went back to school and they wanted me to work there. They offered me a rig and a truck pay and some stuff, and it sounded good at the time. But I wanted to get out and see, from drilling and doing core samples on other jobs. I got to be around construction sites and see what else there was out there. So that's really where I got the exposure to the big equipment, and that's what made me want to do more.
Do more, yeah.
So from there, went back to school. I graduated with a 2-year degree in.
So you didn't finish your degree before that? You were just took the classes, or you did?
I was working there while I was in college. When I was off, I would go back
okay.
and work for them,
I see.
make a little money, and then when I had to go back to school, I would just let them know I was going back to
Gotcha.
college.
Okay.
And so then I went back, graduated, and I could have gone back there, but I wanted to try and get out, and I actually applied for office jobs. I applied like 8 different places.
In construction management type stuff?
To be like whatever, learn to estimate or do something in the office. And
You applied 8 places.
yeah, I had a whole
obviously-
list. I went to like a job fair right before school went out, and I had a whole folder with all these different, like main drilling and blasting was in there,
Yeah.
which I didn't apply there, but there was a bunch of companies. I mean, there was a couple of union outfits from around here that were in there, and I applied to like be in the office, and nobody was hiring. There wasn't a lot of work then, and
What year was that?
that was 13.
They're at a job fair, but they're not hiring.
Well, yeah,
Here's
I
my
don't know.
business card,
That's
but
why
don't call me when
I
I
had
really work.
I had a folder, and then I forget. I think it was one of the guys that called for a job. They weren't hiring anybody new, but he gave me a list of people from like Western New York. So I drove around to like 8 different outfits in a day, and Zolad's was the last one I went to. And I was filling out an application, sitting in the hallway filling it out, and a guy walked out and he goes, "What are you applying for?" I said, I want to be in the office. That's what I went to school for, and I'm trying to get a job lined up before I graduate. And he said, "Well, we don't need anybody in the office, but we're hiring laborers." So that was the last place I stopped. So I started being a laborer for Zolad's right after school ended.
What job did you go to with them?
The first job was a street sweeping contract, and I got to walk. It was 585 miles of street sweeping, and I walked probably 500 of it.
That was like a DOT job? They actually said
Yeah, well, I don't know. It wasn't rate.
it wasn't rate.
No, they said it was a maintenance agreement or something, and even the state inspector said so. Wow. So
585 miles, and you walked 500
I walked
of it?
500 over
With,
the backpack
like with a
blower.
broom or the backpack blower and just blew stuff from the
Yeah.
from the street to the sidewalk?
Yeah, backpack blower and a shovel, and we would do the sidewalks and the approaches and put it out in the road so the trucks could come by and sweep it up.
Man, I did not know that was like a contract.
In
Yeah.
New York?
Yeah, this area, like Western New York, we were doing I found a gun on the 33.
Did you really? Like a long gun or a
Like
pistol?
a pistol with the serial numbers drilled out of it.
Oh, did you keep it?
I tried to, but no, we called the Buffalo PD and they
So
came
we
and
chucked it out the window.
no, Buffalo PD came and got it.
Murder weapon.
Dude, the cylinder, it was rusted shut, so it's
Oh,
a revolver.
thunder.
The cylinder's stuck in it, and the guy's out there on a 33 cars going by banging it off. Well, first he tried to pull the trigger, then that got stuck.
Oh, jeez.
Whoa.
Yeah, because the hammer got stuck back. Then he's out there banging it off the signpost, trying to get the cylinder to open to see if there's anything in the.
Pull the
You know
trigger
what?
first, then check the
Yeah,
cylinder.
I'm like,
right, yeah.
I'm like, buddy,
Yeah, you might
go do that. Go do that over
Hey,
there.
don't point that this way.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was, I think, our best day. We walked like 21 miles.
Man, you wear sneakers at work then? Like
No,
that?
no boots.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's a neat deal.
Yeah, and I was we were vest and forget the rest too. We were just wearing a construction vest, no t-shirt
nothing.
underneath because it's like 900 degrees out.
A vest and forget the rest.
Yeah, so and I was
That's
trying
great.
was trying to finish. So I guess I graduated college, but I needed calculus to finish my degree. So I was trying to take. There was a 6-week calculus course in I don't know if it was Buff State, UB North, one of those. And I was trying to take that during that time. And the kid, I sat in the same seat every day, and I would leave work. So we were working like 12, 14-hour days, like sun up to sundown.
Sure.
And I would leave work, and I think the class started at like 5 or 6. And then if I had time, I would go back. And then, but every day, because we were all dusty from sweating. And kids like, do you work in a coal mine? And I'm like, no, why? He's like, every day you come in here, you just like, you look like you crawled out of a coal mine, just covered in stuff. And
that kid was playing video games all day.
Go walk 21 miles with a backpack blower.
Like,
Let me know what you look like.
I don't even want to be here.
How much gas did you burn in a backpack blower? Like you filling up a couple times a day? Had to be. 3,
Yeah.
4, yeah.
A lot.
I can't believe that wasn't rate.
Yeah, me either. But we asked the inspector, and he said it wasn't.
Yeah, well, whatever. It made me. It is what it is.
But
so labor at Zolad's, and did you end up getting to move into some equipment there?
yeah, it start like I think like everybody starts out. It's like haul trucks and
Sure.
skid steers. And,
As needed.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody doesn't show up, you get to try and make it happen for the day. And
You really never had much experience on equipment before this, just other than the tractors on the farm, right?
Yeah.
So that was all kind of new to you?
yeah, that was all new to me, and I wanted to get into surveying, and they allowed me to work with a surveyor there, and I get to get a lot of experience doing layout. And did some landfill work, some school jobs, some soccer fields, and
They always get big work. They always
Yeah.
have something going on.
But
Yeah.
the layout and the surveying thing, that's almost good. I mean, it gives you for the layout, so you know what I mean. You understand the job some, but then elevations, you know what I mean. That's a key
Huge.
when you're running equipment. Like,
Yeah.
Understand it.
you
Yeah, it gave
understand,
me-
yeah.
different appreciation for what everybody needs on a site. You know what I mean? Once you're walking around doing the layout, everybody wants you at 3 different places, and there's usually only one of you. Or,
Right.
in this case, there was I think there was 3 of us. One guy was always out of town. Paul was the guy that was really teaching me, and he was the main guy. But then once I learned enough from him, I had, I think, 4 jobs of my own that I was taking care of, and there wasn't enough time.
Oh, wow. So you were running around like with a van and laying out stuff. Was that like,
My own truck.
oh, your own truck? Yeah. Okay. Your own truck. That was before GPS? Were you using like,
No, it's GPS.
What's all GPS? TopCon?
No, Trimble.
Okay. So set the base station up and go around the rover and lay things out, paint marks on the ground type
Yep.
stuff. That's great.
Yeah,
In your own truck.
Your own truck, yeah.
my
Yeah.
1989 Toyota.
Figured it was something cool.
Right.
It had to be, yeah.
Yep.
Did you
Yeah,
have the
so-
tailgate painted so it just said yo?
No, it said Toyota. It was like a Marty McFly truck.
Oh, okay, right on.
But the boat launch at Buffalo State Park by the Skyway, I did all the layout for
Buffalo
that
State
job.
Park. Where is? Oh, but it's
Right at the beginning of the Skyway. There's
Oh,
that,
okay,
like,
yeah.
big boat launch there.
Yep.
Did all the layout for that, and then Orchard Park Schools I did.
so with layout. I was told that one of the references I have, it's not how good you are, it's how good you cover up your mistakes.
Hopefully you don't have any mistakes. But
Hopefully you don't, but when you do, that's
that was,
that's one of those things where like there was a survey I worked with was he'd come out and he'd make a mistake. Nobody would know he'd make a mistake. He's the only guy who knew what he had to do, and he'd come out and say the grades have been changed to protect the innocent. And I'm like, you made a mistake, didn't you? He's like, I sure did. And then next thing you know, he would make all the water has to do is just flow. It doesn't matter if it's got this much or that much, but yeah.
yeah, definitely would have been helpful if I was had somebody like that teaching me, because my mistakes were you're the first guy that gets finger pointed at.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
It's never the operator's fault.
I always question that when they go to set a bridge beam and you got 2 abutments that are poured, and I'm like, man, I hope that thing is right on because one's wrong or too short or too long. But yeah, that's kind of neat. So did you end up getting any more equipment experience there then besides that surveying stuff, or was it?
Yeah, I got to run. I don't know, dozers once in a while. You know, there's usually a dozer guy.
Yeah.
No matter where the bulldozer is, there's usually a guy for that and a grader. I did get to grade a little bit, and more just messing around.
They were all John Deere back then, right?
Yeah.
Still? Yeah.
No, a little bit of Komatsu.
Oh,
but
did they? Yeah.
Yeah, I got to do some excavator work, just loading trucks and stuff
Okay.
like that. But a lot of loader, a lot of skid steer stuff, a lot of labor.
Did you work anywhere else besides Zoleds then before you got in with us?
No.
Okay. So how did you end up working at Zoleds and getting into the local 17?
So the last year I was there, we were doing the clearing for the Arkwright Wind Farm.
Okay.
And it was, I don't know, there's maybe 5 of us there. And we were getting to the end of what we had to do, and I really liked where we were. We got to be in the woods. It was the first job I was out in the woods. And
Were you surveying or were you?
I was laboring. I was pulling cable and stuff, and
Okay.
and doing the environmental. I was SWIP certified, so I was in charge of doing all the silt fence and environmental protections and stuff like that.
You know what SWIP stands for? 'Cause I see it in a lot of mailboxes and we don't even know.
Site water protection plan,
There you go. So, all right, good.
or
Makes sense.
yeah, site water. I think.
Yeah.
But so I got to do that, and then we were coming to the end there, and I stopped. You guys were rolling in and building the yard, and I stopped and talked to somebody, I don't know who, and I asked how many operators they were going to have out here, and he said probably 60. I said 60. That's a lot. That's a lot of guys for coming in. Like, I don't remember when that started, June, July, something like that. It was pretty late. It was like nice out.
July, I think it was.
Yeah, when Zoleds was out there, it was in the springtime. I remember it being a big muddy mess. They were clearing it to seem like it would never.
Yeah,
It was winter or just spring, but I remember it being really muddy. And then I think that we came in there.
Yeah, that whole site, that was terrible ground there.
Yeah.
But you guys came in, and then I asked, how many operators they were going to have. They said like 60, and
Yep.
they said they didn't. I said, do you have that many? And they said no. And I said, well, how do I go about if I wanted to be on this job? How do I do that? And they gave me a phone number to call, and I called. And that day they said, we're trying out, guys, 6:00 tonight. Be here. And then I showed up,
Okay.
and actually two of the older guys I was working with kind of talked me into it, and they both said that they wish they would have done it when they were my age, and they're like, get out
But
of
they
here.
weren't coming either. They were just telling you, giving you the direction.
Yeah, they said we're not going to have any sort of pension. We're already too old. I mean, they were like in their 60s already, like just
No kidding.
working to work. And they both were like, get out of here. Like, go try out. And I'm like, I'm not good enough to make it. And they're like, you're not going to know unless you try. They're like, you'll be fine. Go. And they really pushed me to go do it because I was nervous.
Have you seen those guys since? You still know who they are? Maybe?
Yeah, I still know who they are. I've talked to the one on the phone, and the other one I haven't seen around. They're both still around. But
It's cool to thank them
Are they still working?
I think so. Yeah.
They probably have to. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to. I should call them.
Yeah, just thank them for nudging you. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
When somebody gave you a little bit of advice. They really had nothing to gain by that. I mean, they were losing a guy that.
No, and I did, even though my father and all my uncles and my grandpa were Boilermakers, I didn't know anything. I thought union operator was crane operators. So
Okay,
then we're
yeah.
on this big dirt job because I've never seen a big union dirt job anywhere that I had been working at the time, and I was on big jobs, but for Zolads, and then you see like other non-union outfits running around. So I assumed that union operator was a crane guy.
Crane guy, yeah, okay.
So
Which most are, but yeah, that's kind of neat.
So yeah, when I found that out, I'm like, oh man, I gotta get over there and see.
So you come over here to the training center, tested, ran some equipment, like 4
Yeah.
or 5 pieces.
Yeah, and I was, I guess, good enough to send out.
How'd
to
you
work.
feel there? Were you intimidated, nervous, or
Nervous.
Just, yeah.
Yeah,
Bunch of guys watching you with clipboards.
yeah, and it's like
I might have been there. I can't remember if
Trying
I was
to
there watching or
intimidate
not.
you on purpose.
I'm
I kind of
pretty,
think I was, but I don't remember for sure.
I'm pretty sure Kelly was there.
Oh yeah, Kelly was there. Yeah.
I think he's who I had for the bulldozer, and
It was probably Kelly, Nat, Smoker,
Yeah.
Jonathan, maybe.
yeah, I think it was the old D3. And I'm like, man, I've never been on anything this old. I would have had a hard time figuring out how to make it move, and I'm like, I'm gonna look like an idiot out here.
Yeah, we
But-
did that on purpose so that people that the younger kids that just got to run the new stuff, like, well, here's a standard bulldozer that we all know how to run, so I'll run this and try. We've had guys not even all started. They look at it like, I don't know, there's a key over there.
It was pretty ugly. I remember that, but
Yeah,
Just before it got a paint job.
yeah,
no, not the bulldozer. My work.
his work.
That too.
But
So then you got a phone call.
yeah, I got a phone call, and it They wanted me to go to work the next day.
Yeah, it's always the next day. It's
Yeah.
never.
It's like, you got to go now. And I'm like, well, I'm not leaving these guys high and dry.
Mhm.
And I guess I should back up. That was the second or third time I quit.
Oh, you
From
quit
Zolitz.
before that to go somewhere else?
Yeah, I was a steam fitter for like 3 months.
Steam fitter. Okay, so we got a Boilermaker and a steam fitter. What's the difference in a steam fitter and a Boilermaker?
You're gonna have to ask one of them. No, each one thinks they're better than the other. But,
They do. I think I asked that question to I said, what's the difference between a steam fitter and a plumber? And the fitter said, they put their face where we put our ass. And I didn't understand it, but okay.
Yeah, I think I asked my dad the difference between a steam
Okay.
fitter and a Boilermaker, and he said, $3.40 an hour. That's the difference.
It's the rate.
To the penny, he knew it.
Yeah.
But I think they're boiler out to the rest of the building, and Boilermakers are maintenance inside the boiler.
So your dad got you in work for a company. Like, what did they get you? Were you a member of the union? Of that union?
I quit the day I was going to get sworn in. Right before I
so you
started
didn't
my
even get a
apprenticeship.
chance then. And you quit. You went back to Zolitz.
Yeah, because we were working on a school job. It was a nice job, like clean. It's not like a chemical plant or something
Yeah.
like that. And they had a big window cut in the second floor, so they could bring in heavy, like whatever, air handlers and stuff like that, and pumps and everything. And there was a state crew out working on the highway with an excavator and a bulldozer, and that's all I did was stare out that window and like, man, I want to be up there. I don't want to be in here.
Right.
So that's when I really knew, and I'm like, I was getting real nervous. I'm like, man, it's a good job. I'm gonna have a good retirement and good benefits and everything, but I'm like, my heart wasn't in it. So quit, went back, and then fast forward to where we just were.
So you only quit once before that, so you ended up quitting twice.
I think that was the second time I quit when I came here.
So you get the day notice, and you're like, I can't leave these guys high and dry. But did you end up doing that, or did you end up giving them time?
I told them I needed 2 weeks because they had been pretty decent to me, and I was really worried about the guys I was working with. Like I said, they were older, and that next 3 or 4 days we were winching, pulling cable up down a hill and pulling the logs up and out. And I knew I was going to be the guy pulling the cable. So
I'm
I'm
pulling the cable.
I'm
out.
like, I can't do it. I can't do it to him. I'll feel too bad. And so I stayed and then finished seeing, whoever I was talking to. I don't remember who it was from the union, but they said, well, I don't know if your job's going to be here in 2 weeks. I'm
Right.
like, well, if it's meant to be, it will be. And
Yeah.
it was.
Wow.
And
Good
I
deal.
got to go leave that job I was on, pulling trees, to go a mile down the road and pull into the yard at Arkwright.
Oh, you were in the same job.
Same
You were still
job,
working at
yeah.
Arkwright. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I got put on a loader, and I was on that for, I don't know, a year and a half. I got to plow through the winter, and
With the
Yeah, you were
same
one of the
loader.
utility operators, right? Mm-hmm. Yep.
You just pretty much ran a loader the whole time.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, a little bit of excavator, mostly loader. I was in that thing a lot. I should look at my old book. I have the mileage and the hours written down, and I should see how many miles I put on that thing. Yeah.
That's great. What did you think of the difference between working for Zoleds and working at the time that was white construction? How did you like that?
Oh, it was a lot better.
I mean, you're obviously running equipment
Pace.
every day.
Yeah, you're on equipment every day. You don't have to do the labor. You don't have to be the truck driver. You're doing what you want to do for the most part, and the pace is a lot better. There's enough guys to do the work. It's not always fires on you, and we got to go faster. Or we got to get this done. We got somewhere else to be. I mean, you have jobs that are like that, but on those big jobs, they're pretty manned up, and they're to anybody that's ever worked a fast-paced production job, they're pretty laid. A lot of them are pretty laid back as long as everybody's doing what they're supposed to. And
Yeah,
everything's
if you're
going good.
efficient in producing it,
Yeah.
it's a different story than running like crazy.
So that might have something to do with it too. I might have been getting a little better, but
Yeah. Did you meet some good people out there?
yeah.
A lot of 17 members working out there. It was a good job.
Well, Herman, of course, he was the steward out there.
Yeah,
He ran a tight ship. And,
he did. Yeah, military type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ray Parker, he was out there. He let me get in a crane.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So before I'm like, he's like, you ever ran crane before? I'm like, this is the closest I've ever been to one. He's like, oh, get in.
Hop in and run it.
Yeah.
That's what
So
we do.
he loaded one container, and then he let me load the other one, and I was terrified. He's like, it ain't that hard. That one lifts it up, and that one swings it. Just don't go too fast.
It
And
picks things up and puts it
yeah,
down.
don't knock
That's
anybody
it.
over.
No, it does.
We're like, all right. So,
That's cool.
well,
And this is like 27, 16, 17? What year was that?
It was
2017.
I think it was 2017 when that job started.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember them. I wasn't here working.
I
in
went
the
out there
office
that
yet.
fall,
Yeah, so I worked there.
boiling.
Yeah.
No, I was a second-year apprentice.
Yeah, I remember I wasn't in the office yet, but I remember talking to these guys, and they kept saying like, "Oh, they call for 4 or 5 guys," and I'm like, "Yeah, we got to be more." And then all of a sudden, it's 4 or 5 more, and Bill kept telling Paul, "Man, don't. This is going to be it." There's not. And all of a sudden, they call for 10 more, and it's like, how many more guys can they put on that job? But they manned her up.
Yeah, it was. I was there from 2017 through 2018, and that was really the first since the Comet program. Wasn't that the first round of guys brought in on permit?
Yeah, we did. That's kind of when we first started the whole temporary membership or permit thing because we were out of people that year, and we needed bodies. So we started rounding up some people. We were testing them at the training center beforehand and running through some guys, and then we put them on temporary membership, and that's how you got in through that. And it's pretty much a temporary membership for a year. And at the time, we would, if guys were kind of light on experience when we first test them, we may have tested them again and then made a decision whether we were going to keep them on temp membership or offer them apprenticeship or make them a full-blown member. It really was, kind of depended on how the year went.
Yeah, and that's what happened to me. And there was a lot of guys. Nobody went out of their way to be mean or anything like that. But they're like, "What are you doing here? Where are you from? I never met you before." Like,
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, I'm on
They weren't
permit."
used
They're like,
to it.
"What is that?"
A lot of our guys
Yeah.
were not used to that. It was something we did kind of new. Back in the day when they did the Comet program, they would test guys. They would make them members and then let them go back to work non-union until they needed them. Then they would call them and bring them in and put them to work. And we had a lot of good people we brought in that way. But then we started the temp membership program, and the temp member program was that you wouldn't be a member for a year, and it worked out pretty well. It was something that the International came up with, kind of a change years before that we just started using. It's working out good. But so then after the end of that year, was the job over?
Like I said, I plowed through the winter, and then I was kind of, trying to get a hold of the guys from the union and figure out where my future was heading and if I was going to get brought in or what was going to happen. And I kept saying, "Well, we don't know how it's going to work yet. We don't know. Just sit tight, keep doing what you're doing."
Yep.
Then my permit ran out because it was good for a year, and
Yeah.
they said, "Well, you're fine. Just keep working." And then they came out and told me that, after, as far as I remember it, I was going to be brought in straight.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure I had a letter that said I was. And then I don't know. It doesn't matter anyways. But then Paul Hopkins came out. He was a BA at the time and told me, "Hey," he's like, "How do you feel about going through the apprenticeship?" And I'm like, "Not good." And
Yeah.
He's like, "Well, why?" I'm like, "Because I'd rather be working, making money than having to go to school." And he goes, "Well, you think you're good enough for that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I think I am." And he's like, I think that you think you're better than you are." And I remember I was in the loader talking to him because he drove his whatever he had, that Traverse or whatever, and he parked in front of me and he left his door open, and I just thought about blowing the door right off.
I was so mad.
I was so mad. I'm like, yeah. And then I just took a breath and I'm like, "Well, I'll think about it." And then he's like, "Don't shoot the messenger." I'm like, "I'm not mad at you. I'm just mad." Like,
Right.
So I thought about it, and then he was like, "Well, that's the deal. You can go through the apprenticeship, go back to doing what you were doing." And I'm like, "I really don't want to go back, a second
Yeah,
time."
to what you were doing, yeah.
And
That year we brought in, I think there was like 7 or 8 of the guys that came in on temp membership ended up applying to the apprenticeship that year. And I think all of them got in, but it was quite a handful of people that the same thing happened.
yeah, I mean,
happened to you.
looking back, I was mad, and I did think I was better than I was, because every year since then you think you're good, and then you get around somebody from, you get out of your little bubble, and
Sean and I run into that all the time where these guys are calling this thinking they're ready to hit the ground running here, and then we find out they're just they don't even know. They
10
think
years
they are.
experience, and they're 19 years old.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or they just never been around somebody that's good to compare themselves to, but they, the company they're working for is telling them, "Dude, you're doing great. You're doing great. You're a great operator." And it's like, well, they may think you are, but until you get somewhere where there really is good operators and you compare yourself to, so you weren't alone in that whole thing.
Yeah, I think almost everybody thinks that. You know what I mean? You might be a bit, a big fish in a small pond. I wasn't even that. I was just like, I'm good enough. Like I was good enough to work here for the last year and a half. Well, yeah, looking back, there's a lot more to what we do than
you made a lot of friends in that job though, because I remember talking to some operators out there and they called you Skinny Mike, and Mike Motak, he's a good kid, blah blah blah, this and that. I'm like, yeah, great, that's awesome.
Yeah, try to have a good attitude and work hard and not
it
screw
helps.
anybody.
It definitely helps. You made a lot of friends. So then, so you got offered the apprenticeship. Did you apply it in the October, like everybody else did, or how did that?
I got brought in. I got to use some of my time. I think, because I think I was late. They allowed me to finish the job out.
Okay.
They said you can.
You had to apply like everybody else. I'm sure
I had to apply like
yeah.
everybody else.
Yeah.
I went through the interviews and went through the tests and all that. I did all that, and then whoever was in charge of it said, "You can finish. We're not going to pull you. Finish the job out. When you get laid off, you'll start the apprenticeship then."
Okay.
I ended up being like the third last guy to get laid off.
Okay.
So, and it was just mainly because of being in that loader, and I think even Herman said like that loader is going to be busy till the end. You'll be loading stuff out,
just like the broom.
Yeah, so
last thing on the job.
Like, all right, I got to stay in this loader.
Yeah. What kind of loader was it?
John Deere 644.
6-1, nice machine. So you're in an apprenticeship, kind of like was it feel like a reset to you, or did you start learning something right away that you didn't?
Yeah, the first day I got put in the American, and
yeah, good old crane, man.
Yeah, there wasn't much instruction with it either.
Detroit diesel.
That it's kind of like what Nat brought me out there. He's like, "That's your throttle. Keep it wound up. It leaks less." And
yep,
this is your swing. And so I was out there messing with it, and I'm watching. How the lever that controls the boom, it'll just keep going if you don't kick it back in.
Sure.
I'm watching the ball, and I'm like, I just see it out of the corner of my eye going up, and I look over. It's at like 85 degrees, and I bump the lever down, and then we go in for lunch. I'm like, hey, can he's like, if I just keep booming that thing up, will it just come over backwards? He goes, oh God, yeah, you can winch that boom right now.
Yeah, tackle it right over if you want. Yeah.
I'm like, all right,
I won't do that.
Let me know.
Nice.
Be valuable information for the first timer, but yeah, that was
something you might have needed to know. Yeah.
But yeah, that was the start of the apprenticeship, and then I learned a lot through the apprenticeship.
Got some pretty good jobs in the apprenticeship, working different places, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I got to work for I think Anastasi the first year.
Yeah, and
that was data center.
You got paving around Anastasi?
No, mainly dirt work, and that was cool. It was me and an older operator.
They got some talent there.
Yeah, it was Joe. I think Joe Needon. It was. He's a good operator, but he wouldn't go to other jobs, and then I got to run the big hoe. So I got to run I think it was a 330 cat.
330, yeah. They got the same 330 they had for like 30 years.
Yeah, so I did a lot of digging on that job, and the guy I was working for liked me, so he let me do a lot of digging, and I got I don't know, good experience there.
Good.
And then after that, I went to CMH.
Oh yeah, I remember you went to CMH.
Yeah.
Remember the old road widener? What was that old? Tell me about the old road widener.
I think he said it was a 1954 Blaunox. It's a Blaunox, but I think it was a 54 Blaunox with a V4 Ford gas job out of a Pinto in it.
Awesome.
From like this, it was repowered in the 60s to a V4 gasser. I'm like, this thing is not meant to push triaxles.
They use it like once every 3 years.
We use it every day there.
On that job, yeah. But I mean, they didn't use it 3 years before that or whatever.
I think must have made the most money off any machine on the job. And
paid for 50 years.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, no, Marty would say, a few more payments, she's all ours.
Oh, yeah. So. Yeah, CMH was good, yeah. What else? Did you do crane work? Anything else?
No, not. I mean, a handful of times I went out on cranes with Clark mostly.
Okay, but good experience overall in the apprenticeship.
Good experience overall. I got to work with Jer Carson, he's an old school dude.
Oh yeah, retired now, enjoying his pension. Yeah,
yeah, he was tough, but
yeah,
I was late a bunch too. So
late. Oh boy.
Yeah, one day or 1 week I was late. I think it was like 3 times in a week or twice one week and once the next weekend.
Broke down cars, or was it the bush light?
It was the first one was the time change because I didn't fix my
Oh,
alarm, so I was like an hour late.
Oh,
So then the next time, I think it was like the next day in a row, and Jared looks at me and goes, "Let me guess, the time change again." He goes, "Oh, that happens every year, but it's a problem today." And the third time, he didn't talk to me for like a week. He wouldn't even look at me. I didn't show up till like
man.
10, like 10 in the morning, and they had blacktop coming.
oh,
And
man.
you know, I
Yeah.
called him, and he's like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Hey, I'm gonna be late, but I'm on my way." He goes, "Don't worry about it. Something broke, the truck's broke, or the plant broke, and like nothing showed up before I got there, anyways." But he didn't talk to me for like a week.
Did you bring coffee at least?
No,
If you're gonna be late, at least bring coffee.
Donuts, breakfast sandwiches, something.
Yeah, something.
no. I remember Marty. He's like, "What's your excuse today?" I'm like, "I don't have one, Marty." I'm like, "I overslept. I made a mistake."
It happens.
And he
right?
goes, "Yeah, what are you going to do about it?" I said, "It ain't going to happen again." He's like, "This is the best thing you could have said to me right now." And he walked away. And I don't think, even he didn't talk to me for like a week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's old school as well. Mm-hmm. So you got a crane license out of the apprenticeship, obviously.
Yeah, I got a
Yeah.
CDLA and my.
Oh, you get
crane
CDLA
license.
there too?
Yeah, I had my B when I came in, and then I got my A right before I graduated, and
That's great.
failed the crane test the first time.
Did you at our training center?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had to go to Constantia and took it again.
What crane did you take it on? At the 208?
The
Or
here
the 222?
222.
Oh, okay, a 222 then? Yeah. I know they had the brake was a little tough back then on that crane, but they got it figured out now.
Yeah, I think only maybe one guy if he passed, we never found out he was from PA.
Oh, gotcha.
The first round, and then I think 5 of us got it when we went to Constantia, and that was on a link belt.
138, I believe.
138,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice crane they got out there.
So what year did you graduate then?
22, 21.
Right after COVID?
Yeah, we went through COVID here, and then when I was working at CMH,
Okay. Where'd you end up? Like, what was your first journeyman job out of the gate?
Ball Hill, I believe,
Oh, you
with Sean.
What'd you run at Paul Hill?
330 cats. When I was working for ITS, when I was working for
He came out
Merlot.
there on the collection line for
Collection line?
ITS, yeah.
Yeah, I did the demo for those.
And then went to Merlot.
Or that was the Merlot was first, and that was a link belt, something or other with a
210,
shear on it. Yeah,
210.
How many times you late in that job?
none.
No.
How many?
Right.
I
How
don't
many,
think
how many windows did you break?
One on my last day.
How were you turning?
Really, on the last day too, of course.
Yeah, and Blankenberg was there, and he goes, "Are you serious on the last day, Motak?" And I'm like, "I made it the whole job without breaking a window."
Were you tearing out foundations, or what were you doing there?
Sorting a rebar out of the rubble when they blasted those
Oh, yeah.
windmill foundations.
It's pretty hard to keep windows in the machine when you're doing that work.
Oh yeah,
Man.
nothing was blast proof, or there's no, you know what I mean. There was
Yeah.
no.
They were all rented.
Yeah, they're all just
Yeah.
straight glass. They weren't
Oh.
made to be protected from what we were doing.
Well, you got right in there in the meat of that job. That's cool.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Good money, good
It
hours.
was great money, but the demo was not fun.
Yeah, takes a special breed of cat for demo. He likes it.
How big were them hammers? Like 25,000 pound hydraulic hammers or something?
Yeah.
All day right next to you?
Oh yeah, just hammering. So you were working. That was for Merlot at that point, right?
Yeah.
But you went to ITS. Was that before or after that? It was after that. right?
ITS I went to after, and that was putting cables in the ground.
Putting the collection line underground, and you were on a hoe doing the.
Yeah, I ran
Tie-ins.
at 330 there. That was an interesting crew.
Yeah, yeah. That was a neat process putting that stuff in.
Eh, it didn't seem to work that great. But
Hey, we made a lot of money doing it.
Should have
so-
been in the pre-job when they told us we put cable in the worst conditions
Oh,
anywhere in the
anywhere.
country.
The
Anywhere
win-
in the country. Yeah.
the winch and the cable plow were cool. That was it's the largest mobile winch in the world.
Yeah.
It was a 90-ton single line pole with anti-recoil cable. I forget what it cost to
Really?
to restring it.
And they
but-
had 2 of them on that job. It was
Yeah.
a pretty
It was
cool setup.
Super cool setup.
And I'm sure in the
Yeah.
right conditions, it's a pretty slick setup.
It did.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, they said I mean, like out in the desert or wherever where it's sandy and granular, they were able to put in like 6-inch water lines with the thing,
Wow.
which is, I mean, that's way faster than
Trenching.
digging it. but,
Yeah. Well, it worked out
you
pretty
know,
good.
Just that must be too many rocks. And then, I was on a 330 cat and I was doing bores, pulling bores for them. And then we started to have to use sand to shield the cable. It would go on the ground in like stacks, like triangle.
Yep.
And then a conduit. and it'd be wrapped up, and then we had to get this bigger hopper so we could put sand all around it as it was going in, so no rocks could settle in on the cable. And then we were using a remote control sand slinger, so you're basically following around this train of a winch and then the spider plow, and then you would be on the RC sand slinger trying to shoot it into a 2-foot by 2-foot hopper as you're going around turns and moving and trying to drive. The thing already doesn't want to turn in the mud, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that was challenging.
Definitely. Takes some skill. Takes some skill to do stuff like that.
As the loader's coming down the collection line that is not stable, trying to dump the sand into that, as he's trying to shoot it into the back of the cable plow.
Yeah, Bob Martin got on the RC slinger after I was off of it. He did a really good job at it. He like almost never missed the hopper.
Hopefully you got some photos of that, right?
I got a lot of good pictures of that job. Tracks off, putting tracks on machines and waist deep mud, and
that's awesome.
It's pretty brutal that last
Great.
end of the job.
Did you end up on some pipeline work as well?
Yeah, I got on.
Did you take pipeline training?
Yeah, I went down to Crosby in this would be 23. I went down there, took a pipeline excavator class.
Great training, isn't it?
Yeah, great training. 3 weeks. And
3 weeks. Yeah.
that's another situation where, you know, I thought I just spent over a year digging as fast and as well as I knew how, and I was pretty good. And then got down there, and I'm like, man, I suck. Like,
it's like Top Gun. They make you better.
Yeah,
I've loved that training. I've taken it that class like two times. I took it, but man,
yeah, and that 3 weeks there, it's like it totally changed.
It is, yeah.
How I do it. And it's you think it's a simple process, and there's not that much to it, and then you get somebody who can break it down step by step, like you're learning to walk again, and they're like, that's where you're losing time. That's where you're losing time. That's where you're losing time,
and all the little things, and it's like all the digging that I've done, and then digging next to guys that were been doing it for a while, and then it's over a 10-hour day, and you're comparing your ditch and your footage next to somebody else, and it's like those little things add up. You know, you can definitely make a difference.
Yeah, it's pretty cool when you're sitting there with 5 excavators in a line, and you could see who's doing what they were told to do, and who can't break their habits.
Like even this picture behind us with this carrying this big section. Were you on that job? That was out in Langford.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you in one of those hoes?
Probably.
Yeah. Like even just carrying a section like that, everybody's got to be on the same page when you're doing it, or things don't work.
Yeah, and half the time there's no radios. There's just one guy.
Yeah.
Going.
You just got to understand what the fan signal means and what you're supposed to be doing with it.
Yeah, that's some of the coolest work. That job was, I think, 3 miles from my house.
Yeah. You probably won't get another one that close.
No.
Unless they build a wind farm in Langford.
No, hopefully not.
Yeah.
Take another pipeline, though.
There you go. So you've been working, you did a couple of pipeline jobs, right?
Yeah, there, and then I went to Lancaster with Eric. Was a steward on that one. And
that was with Encompass?
Yeah, both with Encompass.
Okay. Good.
And then since then, it's been windmill work.
You were most recently the steward for Moosehead clearing at Alley Cat, correct?
Yep.
How'd that go? First steward job?
That is interesting. There's a lot to learn how to deal with people, and
isn't it crazy that people management and the personalities you get?
Yeah.
And you got to deal with a foreman.
Yeah.
Your foreman out there was.
You got to learn how to read the person. You know what I mean? Because the way you react to 2 different people or deal with 2 different people is a night and day difference.
Yes.
Yeah, it's definitely everything's, there's always you learn quick. There's always a reaction to your action, or sometimes you got to be the reaction when it calls for it,
Absolutely.
And obviously I talked to you guys a lot when I was doing that, and that was a big help. And
yeah, there's battles you can win. Pick the battles you can win. Sometimes you can't. I told Sean sometimes, like, you kind of give them something, and you always put that in your back pocket. Never forget to remind them.
Always carry something in your back pocket.
Carry something in your pocket that you gave them, and there's a lot of ways you can do things there. And sometimes it's easy. Like, it can be easier than others, and sometimes it's a fight every friggin' day,
Yeah, and this, if I don't know, that job was so spread out. And half of it was travelers and stuff that normally work with this guy. So, of course, most of them never have an issue. It's like our local guys that these guys aren't doing things the way that we're used to doing them, and
especially there where it's all specialty type work. You got clearing, equipment that we don't normally run.
Yeah, but we had a handful of really good guys on that job
We did.
that knew what they were doing or that have done it before. So
Yeah.
it's like, it's like,
It's
whatever.
challenging. When we get jobs like this, like the wind farm itself, and doing the site work, it's a little easier because it's basic dozer hoe type stuff. But when you do it the specialty work, that's when the company guys come from other locals, and they can be tough to deal with. And sometimes they're good union guys. Other times they don't. They can't even spell union. They're just company. But yeah, it's definitely a big challenge.
Yeah, I kind of started off in the hole on that one too. I threw a track on the first day.
I remember that.
It was like an hour before quitting time, and yeah, so I kind of had to win my way back a little bit from that. But
it happens. Yeah, yeah.
but I got to work with I work with some good guys there that taught me a lot too. A kid he's 30-something-year-old from Pennsylvania, pipeline hand, and he made me a lot better at
That's
the
great.
stuff we were dealing with there. And now I got another contact, and he calls me and, hey, do you want to come down here and work?
Nice.
They're looking for guys. And
Yeah, when you work with out-of-town companies, it's cool to build those.
Yeah, I
library contacts.
got to run a forwarder there for the first time. That was cool.
Timber Pro,
Yeah,
neat machines.
yeah,
A lot of
fun.
buttons. A lot of buttons. Yeah, I've run them
A lot of
before.
stuff you can do with them.
Yeah, sure is. Yeah, they're great. So that brings you up to where you're at now. What else? What else are you doing now?
Well, I'm the chairman of the social committee, and I don't know. I'm just trying to get better at what we do and trying to learn more about how the inner workings of our organization works.
There's a lot to it.
There's a lot to it. I mean, this is going on my 9th season, and I just took the contract and dues class yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
And
yeah.
it's like,
did you learn something?
oh yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much everything. I think I got like half the answers right on the
so
pre-test.
much. There's so much going on. Yeah, we started training that I think we said 4 years ago now, and
Yeah,
It's funny. It's funny everybody's reaction though when we do the pre-test in that class because they're like, "Oh yeah, every class there's a pre-test and a post-test, but we don't usually do the post-test."
Yeah.
But it's like we give them the pre-test and they go through and they're like, "Oh, I know this, and then it's like 5, 6 wrong and
All
then
the
they're like- But by the end of it, they're like, "Well, I know
Yeah.
what that is now."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely worth taking because I started at one of the. I mean, it was a little bit different of a contract, but it followed one of our other contracts that we have, and I started at it for a year.
Yeah, we
And it's
talked
like I still-
yesterday that at sometime here in the spring we're going to have 5, and we used to have 8 contracts that we didn't always use, but we use the main ones. And there's definitely some differences in a few of them, and I wish we had one, but it doesn't work that way. So there's definitely some stuff to learn, and it'd be nice if we could do that class more often because every time we do it, it's always 20, 30 people, but yet there's another 400 that could probably take that and learn something.
Yeah.
It's hard to get them to do it.
Everyone that's out there that knows a little bit more about it, though,
Yeah.
it'll help for sure.
We started that. I started like 4 or 5 years ago because I was getting questions and then hearing these rumors in the jobs about this, that, and I was like, where do you hear this, or why would you think that that's that way? And then they're, well, it's what so and so told me. I'm like, stop this stuff and try and get the real word out there. So the social committee, we just kind of started that this year too. So what's going on with the social committee? What are you guys doing?
Well, we're trying to get our brothers and sisters together from the union and just try and get everybody to hang out and do some stuff together. And
yeah. We had you guys had a tailgate with the Bills.
Yeah, and we did a snowmobile ride, and
Yeah.
it's a little slow start, but
Get
hopefully
rolling. Yeah.
it'll pick up.
Okay. No,
Those were both last minute things. So as we get better at like planning it, and we're just trying to like gauge an interest right
You
now and try and get some people having fun together outside of work.
The count from the first one to the second one went up by a few,
Yeah.
which that's all that matters. It's going to start low and then it'll build and build and build.
You guys have already helped started planning the local 17 summer picnic, which is great.
Yep, we did that, and we had a skiing event. We had, I don't know, half a dozen, more than that probably.
That's right, the skiing event.
Yeah, that was fun.
Holly Mount.
And so I didn't know anybody skied that we work with because you don't really talk about it when it's 75 degrees out
Right.
and sunny and
You're all laid off in the winter and re-skiing.
Yeah.
You don't know it. Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
so that's cool. We're starting to get a list together of people that have similar interests, and we're gonna try and do a car cruise and a bike ride of some sort.
Nice.
Get that stuff together.
Yeah, it takes work, but it's good. We're glad you're doing it and helping out, and
Yeah,
we appreciate it.
there's a whole bunch of people involved.
Yeah, we're at last meeting where we had some good ideas floating around, so there's going to be some cool things that come from that committee.
Yeah, and if anybody's listening that has ideas, get a hold of somebody from the committee or
Yeah, come to the meeting,
Something
talk
going.
about it, get a hold of Mike. I mean, even if it's just going out and get some chicken wings or bone or something, we're always looking to do something.
You could even file or send the email from the website that goes to the Operend Gmail. It'll get
Yeah,
passed
it'll
down
get
to
to
Mike.
us.
He'll get it.
yeah. And if
Yep.
you're not like once in a while, we send a text message out about something that we're planning to do, or even just gauge an interest. If you're not getting them, call into the office and get on that list because it's kind of our only tool. Not everybody uses Facebook or looks at their email or any of
Yeah.
that stuff. It just seems it's not really a commitment if you got interest in doing any of these things that we're trying to do. You don't
Yeah.
absolutely have to be there, or have to. We'll get a head count before we need commitments.
Yeah, absolutely. But we're definitely looking for some help on some different things and ideas and what you guys want. The union will help do whatever we can. Need some ideas. Yeah. All right. So I guess the last thing, Mike, I want to ask you about, what do you think of Local 17's retirement? You've got some pension statements coming in the mail now. You've been working. You got some good hours, good years. How's that looking for you?
It's looking pretty good. It's probably be looking a lot better in 30 years, but
Yeah.
I'm happy with what I see right now. And
How old are you now?
I'm 32.
32.
So I got in when I was like 24, and 23, 24.
Yes, you'll have 25 years in when you're like 51, 52 years old.
Yeah, I'm planning on going at 55.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see
We'll
where you're at on that. Yeah.
Trying to compete with his dad.
Yeah. Well, you'll be
Hey,
in
if
good shape.
everything's
Yeah.
paid off.
Good for you. Yeah, you'll be in good shape by then. So,
Yeah. The first few years, it doesn't look like a lot, and then it starts to grow pretty quick.
Yeah,
As
it's
long
add
as- I
up.
mean, especially the last few years we've been real busy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's only going to continue to grow. The forecast for work in the next couple of years is just huge. So it's
Yeah, I've been telling everybody I know that's like on the edge of wanting to make the jump to the union or not. I'm like, now is the time to apply because you're definitely not going to starve with the
Absolutely.
work forecast that we've had.
if you're a
So,
good equipment operator looking to make the jump.
yeah,
Get a hold of us.
everyone's terrified to go into the apprenticeship, and after doing it, it's like I would tell anybody it's worthwhile.
Yesterday when I went around the room in that class, I asked most of the first year apprentices, did you make more money than your parents? And pretty much every one of them said, yep. I think one we had that didn't make more than her mother, but made more than her father, or vice versa. That's great to hear.
Yeah.
Young kids that are in their 20s doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So seeing your dad as a Boilermaker retiring, at a younger age, 55, with his pensions, was that like some sort of motivation that, kind of sparked you to head towards the union as well, or?
Oh yeah, well just when you're growing up and breaking legs and getting all that stuff, and we didn't have to worry about where the money was going to come from, and I mean, not that I would have had to worry about it anyways, but like never seen my parents stress about, oh, how are we going to pay for this bill? Like broke his femur, how are we going to pay for that, or is it going to be that, or pay for the house this month? And there was none of that. It was always, I'm going to retire at 62, and the medical and everything was taken care of, and I was just thinking like, that's what I want when I'm that age. And on the other hand, my mom's side of the family that was farmers, and there's nothing against that. A lot of respect, but you're in charge of your own retirement and in charge of your own health care, or get secure in it, and it's not cheap.
It's tough to manage.
Yeah,
It really is.
And
I'm glad I don't have to manage my health care or my money.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of people do have separate retirements too that they set up or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's got their own strategy, but I'm glad that we got a good pension and got health care, because this is two less things you got to worry about.
That's right. That's a great place to be. All right. Anything else you want to talk about?
Who's coming on next?
I don't know. We got a long list of people. We're not quite sure who's next, but
If you get somebody that's been around a lot, like Eric or
yeah, they're
Jay
definitely
or
on the
Jersey.
list. Yep. We got that as soon as Adam gets up here, we'll get him on. But yeah, we'll get some people on here, some retirees. It'll be good.
Trying to catch some more people before the
before the work starts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kicks
before you
off.
guys get out to work is where we're at with it now.
and
Yeah.
then we won't see you till layoff.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you guys got now? What do you guys got planned for the local?
Well, for the local, right now it's trying to fill all these empty seats we're going to have. We figure if everything goes the way it's supposed to, we're going to be about 100 operators light for the season. So that's our main focus right now. That, and then the next thing we're looking to do is these data centers that are going up. We want to be able to maintain them after they're built. So we're looking forward to making a relationship with the owners of these data centers.
So we want our H&P guys in there building it, doing the site work, crane guys, setting the steel, this and that, and then our stationary guys coming in to take over and maintain the building after we finish the product and walk away.
That's awesome.
At least full circle almost.
Yeah. That's cool that we're looking at that stuff as it comes up.
Mm-hmm. NASA at ITAC has got a great program strictly for data centers on training engineers to how to maintain and specifics for a data center. So the ITAC's got it in place. We just got to get the people to do it.
I'm glad we're being proactive instead of reactive, because I know
definitely are. Yeah.
when first windmill projects started coming around here, I think my brother told me that they wanted to give the work to the Boilermakers for the erection.
Really?
And they told him, no, that's not what we do. And then look how many jobs it created in the last
We've got
decade as their jobs were getting further and further out of town.
We got to finish Alley Cat this year, and then Heritage Wind is going to go up in
What's that,
Orleans County.
28 more up there?
Yeah, and then we're still looking at the Repower and Bliss and Weathersfield, and then as time goes on, you've got Orangeville and High Sheldon that are going to be coming up for Repower as well, plus all the data center work, solar farms. Like, things are just jamming around here right now.
It's a good spot to be.
It's a great spot to be. All right, Mike. Well, thanks for coming in. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Follow us on Facebook, Local 17, local17.com, the website, and please like and share the podcast. See you next time.
Take care.